Do you recognize that moment in your life when your future looked like one big question mark? That moment, after years of hard work, you finally discover this is not what I want to do, but what do you want to do? Or maybe that moment, the coronavirus, turned your life completely upside down and you have totally no clue what to do next. I had that moment mid-August 2015. While I was managing my professional cycling team, I received an email with a short video and a little note. The video shows a huge American baseball stadium and in the middle, Major Dr. Daniel Posley. Dan, as we call him, was decorated that day for his heroic actions, saving many lives of soldiers and civilians in the Afghan war zone. He was celebrated as the hero of the game. The little note in the email said, "Thanks to you, coach, you're the hero." The very first moment I received that, I was speechless. I was very proud. I didn't know what to do because, hey, I had coached a real hero and he called me a hero. But after a few minutes, the video and the note hit me so hard, it felt as if I was run over by a truck. My brain was like one jungle of emotions and memories. Memories like how it all started with housing one American cyclist in '93. Soon after, we sold our house, bought a small B&B, remodeled it into a cycling center, and grew towards an international development center where we mentored over 50 cyclists per year. Then in 2013, we became a professional cycling team. Right at the moment of the email I got with the video, I was managing and running the program and the logistics of the team, meaning handling a fleet of cars, trucks, bus, 100 bikes, a crew of 20 members, all to provide 20 riders a program of about 150 race days per year all over Europe and in the US. That's why months in a year I lived out of a suitcase at 200 kilometers an hour in a mode of 24/7 being online and on call. That night I went home and I looked at the video several times together with my wife. And I was still shaking like a leaf, thinking, what the hell am I doing? I hate my life the way it is right now. And I have no clue how my future is going to look. What did I miss? What did I not see? And while I was thinking that, more memories popped up. For example, about Dan. I still see Dan arriving because he wanted to become a professional cyclist. And he was very enthusiastic, but after 3 years, no contract, no more money, no trophies, just one big broken dream. In the eyes of the cycling world, he was a zero because he didn't achieve it. He went back to the US, went into medical school, became a doctor, went into the army, became an orthopedic surgeon. When they sent him to Afghanistan, there he did heroic things. So you can see that was his journey from zero to hero. But then I really realized, like, wait a minute, I worked in those 22 years, I worked with about 800 riders, and they all had the same dream like Dan, becoming a professional cyclist. About 25 made it, meaning all the others went home, some sort of like Dan. But they were not zeros, because when I checked that out, I could see that those guys made a great life as they became lawyers, doctors, pilots, physiotherapists, plumbers, whatever. They were good husbands, proud fathers. And that was the moment that late at night, digged up a present that we got from Dan the year before, in 2014. When he stopped his duty in the army and in Afghanistan, he sent it as a present. An American flag with a certificate that the flag had flown at the war zone camp, and a note. The note said, "Coach, you told us over and over and over again, go find your values and your talents, discover your passions, and do something with it. I saved lives over here as an orthopedic surgeon, thanks to you and I gotta say, the video I just talked about, that was a wake-up call. But this, that was the final knockout. Never in my entire life had I noticed that I did not practice what I preached, as I had never thought about my own values, my own talents, left alone my passions. I did not even notice that my job, in a way, over those 20 years, went from mentoring to managing. I just followed my gut feeling. I had ideas, I worked them out, and I got things done over and over again. Go, go, go. And that's exactly why I want to share with you the 2 lessons I learned out of all this. 2 lessons that changed my life and made me way more comfortable towards my future. Allow me to take you with me in the learning journey that I made since mid-August 2015. First, I thought I was in this alone. But soon, I discovered that the me story is a we story. Simply put, without my wife no cycling center. Meaning, no stories and no learnings. I wouldn't even be here. Number 2, the lesson is that the manual, how you get there, how you can go find your values and your talents, discover your passions, was right in front of me. It was in the title, Hero of the Game, where your hero is humble, empathic, resilient, and optimistic. And your game is a chain of actions that have a growth mindset, have awareness, meaning, and enjoyment. So allow me to take you through all this. And by the way, would you know where your values and your talents are? First, I'm going to tell you where I got triggered to find my values and talents. Discovering that the world I was so passionate about in the early 90s looked very hypocritical to me in 2015, full of lies, false promises, and hidden agendas. But I discovered that honesty and respect are my 2 most precious values. And my talents, I asked myself 3 questions. What actions give me energy? What actions make my time fly? And what actions make other people ask me, Bernard, how did you do that? Managing my professional cycling team might look glamorous from the outside, but it was a fake circus to me. It sucked away all my energy and my joy. But hey, I found my talent zone, which was inspiring, mentoring, and guiding people in their talent zone. I ask you again, do you know your values, your talents? Let's talk a minute about the game. So I have a question. What type of actions would you think you can have for yourself to grow your talents? Hard, huh? Yeah, it is hard. Learning about yourself is hard, but it is not 10% as hard as not knowing what your future looks like. That uncertainty is 100 times worse. Believe me, I was there. Awareness. How would you see awareness? I would see it this way. Are you curious enough? Have you patience enough to notice what your behavior does with yourself and with your environment? The answers on those questions helped me a lot to discover that my game was an infinite game. Even more so, it's an infinite learning game. And meaning. What is meaning for you? For me, it is doing something I like doing, but that I'm good in a way that I can fulfill somebody's needs. So if that is in balance, perfect. And enjoyment. I think by now you will understand that if I see somebody grow in his talents, gives me a tremendous joy. I gotta say that discovering your hero, that takes more time. Again, my experience. In my cycling period, I had no clue whether I was empathic, resilient, or optimistic. No, I don't know. I don't know if I was humble. Maybe I was not even any of those. But discovering my game made me enough hero to stop my cycling center. Yeah, I killed my darling, but only after discovering my new darling. Helping all kinds of people finding their values, their talents, and discover their passions to do something with impact. You might ask, but what is now the biggest advantage of this program, of the hero of the game? I would say it's the combination of knowing your values, knowing your talents, and your continuous learnings, because that combination grows your competence. And we all know that competence builds confidence, but do you also know that it really inspires you more deliberate practice? And deliberate practice, that is assessing and adjusting your practice methods in little tiny steps. And because you do it that way, you get way more agile and you feel safe for your future. To end, I have one more question. It's a €1 million question. When? When can you do this? Are you not too young or too old? I personally would say only people that stop learning are too old. And you can wait for a personal crisis or for a world disaster, but I would instead say be proactive. And whether you are in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, 50s, 60s like I am, 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s, it doesn't matter. It's not about age. It's about enjoying your game where change becomes your competence for your future. I helped Dan finding the start of his journey from zero to the hero of his game. I thank Dan for helping me discovering my hero of my game for my future. And today, I want to inspire you all and take immediate actions. Dare to go find your values, your talents, discover your passions, and do something with impact, as that is the start of becoming the hero of your game for your future. And I wish you all success.